Okay, so on page 5 at the top, what makes a narrative? So the following passage is an example of a narrative. Narratives can be made up or based on real events. Generally, a narrative includes elements such as characters, dialogue, and a setting, and events or actions that lead up to and follow a conflict. Think of one in your own life. Think of a story that you would have told before, that you told your parents, you told your friends, maybe something really, really funny, really embarrassing. Most of the time it has all of those elements in it, okay? Let's see. Authors often use the narrative form to write about changes in their lives, the lives of those around them, and in the world. In the circuit, author Francisco Jimenez uses events from his own childhood to write about how change affects a Mexican boy and his immigrant family. Okay? So here's the preview. In this activity, you will read a narrative and identify the elements of character, setting, dialogue, and conflict, okay? Now we're going to go ahead and do this entire lesson, but there are many, many, many lessons in here. And I feel like this class could probably actually finish this and understand it after just one lesson, but we will see, okay? So we're going to, like I said, we're not going to do the entire unit, but we will do this one lesson in here, and then I'll check in with you to see how you guys are doing, okay? All right, so let me pull this up a little. In this activity, you will read a narrative and identify elements of a character, setting, dialogue, and conflict. Go ahead and underline those. So you're going to be looking for, or on the preview, elements of characters. So underline that. If you have a highlighter, that's even better. Setting, dialogue, and conflict. So I don't know if you guys can. My son's school has like 3 different computers each. So they just hit a button and then you can see what the teacher's writing. There's one from this angle and one from this angle. It's really high tech, which is funny because his school doesn't use technology normally. So sorry if you can't see that. Okay, setting a purpose for reading. As you read the narrative the first time, that's right now, you guys, as you guys read this, underline words and phrases that indicate when the action of the story is taking place. And think about the events in chronological order. Do you guys have a question about that? What you're doing when it's talking about underlining words and phrases that indicate when the action of the story is taking place? I think once you start reading, it'll become more clear what that means. Put a star next to the changes that the character and his family experience. So if you want right here, you can write underline. That's what I'm going to do. Do you see this little blank spot right here? Right here. This is too small for me. It's like too much. I'm going to write underline changes. Wait, underline action.
Mrs. Mangle, can you show the top of the page? I didn't see where you...
We are on page 5, sweetie. Yeah, no big deal. So underline action, and then you're going to star changes that the narrator and his family experience. So I'm going to write a little star, and then I'm going to write the word changes. I'll show you guys in a second because I don't want to have to go back and read that every single time. Like, what was that again? What was the star? And then circle unknown words or phrases. So circle the unknown. Anything you guys don't want to, anything you don't understand. Now, I'm going to add something to this because I think it's really important. I always write, always, even when I'm just reading by myself, if I'm reading a nonfiction, I always put an exclamation point for things I'm surprised about. Like, are you kidding me? Is that real? That can't possibly be real. That is so crazy. I can't believe that really happened. And I also write question marks with things I don't agree with. Now you don't have to, but they're really good discussion talking points later when we go to discuss this. You can say, can you believe this really happened? Or so an exclamation point would be like a surprise. And a question mark is, I don't agree with that. So I'm going to show you. I don't know if you guys can see that very well. But those are just my little notes. Okay, we're going to read the first. We're not going to read it all together. You guys are good readers. So let's go ahead and turn the page. I'm going to read probably the first 2 paragraphs, and then you guys will read. I'll let you guys decide how you're going to do this. So, all right, about the author. Can I have someone put their hand in the chat to read that to us, please? Someone who has a good mic normally. I see a question for, I think I answered that. Does anyone want to read? If you do, put your hand in the chat. About the author, just that one blue highlighted part on page 6. Okay, let's look. Sophia, can you please read the information about the author?
Francisco Jimenez, 1943 to unknown, was born in I don't know how to pronounce it.
I don't either. Let's figure it out. Hold on. Is that TL? Tlaquepaque? I'm going to look it up because I don't know how to pronounce that either. Thank you, though.
Tlaquepaque.
Okay, who was saying that? Who's helping us out?
I think Aiden.
Tlaquepaque. Okay. I'm going to look that up still afterwards, but thank you. Okay, so go ahead.
Tlaquepaque, Mexico, and grew up in a family of migrant workers in California. He spent much of his childhood moving around California with no permanent home or regular schooling. Yet, despite incredible odds, he went on to have a distinguished academic career. A graduate of Santa Clara University, he also attended Harvard University and received a master's degree and a PhD from Columbia University. A longtime writer of academic works for adults, Jimenez's entry into writing for young people came through an award-winning short story, The Circuit, based on his childhood.
Very good. Now, his last name is Jimenez with an H sound, and that's okay. I know that's because in Spanish, the J makes an H sound, so it's his name is Francisco Jimenez. Very good. Thank you for reading that, and I will look that city up. So I will read the first 2 paragraphs, and I'll kind of show you guys what to do in terms of circling and underlining and exclamation points and things. Also, you guys have notes on the side, okay? So if you guys look, it's you may write any notes or questions that you have over here, any connections, anything that you want to make notes of on any part that says notes. You can also write, I don't think yours is exactly like mine. I have like a tiny page here and lots of instructions on the side. But you can write anywhere that you want in here. This is your book. So you do have less room than I do. But write anywhere that makes sense to you where you can take notes and anything important that you want to remember. Okay. So, The Circuit by Francisco Jimenez. It was that time of year again. I need new glasses. I think I might have to have you guys. I'm going to have to look this way. I apologize. I'm just going to turn my camera off for a second so I can do my old lady stare. You know, I have to go really close to the text. I'll be right back. I'm going to read out loud, but okay, here we go. The Circuit. It was that time of year again. Ito, the strawberry sharecropper, did not smile. It was natural. The peak of the strawberry season was over, and the last few days, the workers, most of them buceros, were not picking as many boxes as they had during the months of June and July. As the last days of August disappeared, so did the number of buceros. Sunday, only one, the best picker, came to work. I liked him. Sometimes he talked during our half-hour lunch break. That is how I found out that he was from Jalisco, the same state in Mexico my family was from. That Sunday was the last time I saw him. So I'm assuming most of you guys don't know that word, and it is on this page where you can find it in the upper left hand. But I am going to say that if this was my read and I really did not know what that word was, you can go back and see, what do? You circle the unknown word. So that was said twice. Maybe you don't know what a sharecropper is. So if you do not know sharecropper, you can circle that. If you do not know, let's see, buceros, You can circle that. Oh, bracero, sorry. Now, usually for words like that, if you look around, you will find that the word was defined for you somewhere in your text. Can anybody see where sharecropper or braceros was? Anybody? You can unmute because there's lots of hands in the chat to read. So
Sharecropper's on the side.
it is right there on the side. Good. Okay. So sharecropper is a farmer who farms another person's property in exchange for a share of the crops or the sale of them. Okay. So now we know what that is. And what about braceros?
I think a bracero is someone that's hired to pick the stuff.
That's a good guess. I like how you're trying to infer. That's a really important skill for reading. Now, in my book, I can actually see the word, and maybe, I'm not sure because, like I said, the teacher's ones are different, but right here, do you guys see that? It has that word. So, can I have, let's see. Aspen, can you please read what braceros is?
Okay. Word connections. Content connections. A bracero is a Spanish word that means one who works with his arm. The word was used or invited to come to the United States to work as laborers during World War II. With so many Americans overseas at war, workers were needed in industries such as agriculture and rail transportation. Braceros often worked under extreme conditions for low pay. The U.S. government bracero program ended in 1964.
Thank you. Okay, so both of those words that I didn't know were able to be found here. Now, I'm just giving you examples. There's nothing so far that I'm surprised or shocked about, so I didn't use the exclamation point or the question mark to say, "Wait, what? I don't agree with that." And there's nothing. I don't think there were any changes yet. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I am going to have you guys break out into your, let's see, because this story ends on page. Okay, so I'm going to have you guys work for paragraphs 3, 4, 5, and 6 by yourselves right now. So you're just going to do that by yourself. I'm going to put everybody on mute. I'm going to be on mute. I'm going to read. And then if you're a very fast reader, just continue to read. Everyone else, I'm going to give you guys time to finish. So I'm just going to put us on mute. You don't have to black out your screen if you don't want to. And you're going to read paragraph 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 is really short. And while you're doing that, don't forget to put a star next to the changes, underline the action, circle any unknowns, okay? So right now, read those few paragraphs. If you're a really fast reader, keep going, but I will stop us when I think everyone should be about done. Okay, go ahead and do that now, please. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and come back together. And if you have, I definitely had some stars, which are supposed to be indicating changes. If you would like to share, what did you star in those 4 paragraphs? Luke, what was one thing that you starred? Can you please share the paragraph number?
Paragraph number 5, I starred the thought of having to move to Fresno and knowing what was in store for me brought tears to my eyes because that's a change because they're moving to Fresno.
Okay. I also starred the move because that is a change. They're going from one place to another. And that made me feel really bad for him too, because just thinking about it made him want to cry. So they're changing from one situation to another. Okay, Sophia, did you have another one?
Oh, it was the same thing. I just forgot to